I'm here at the International Trade and Finance in the Digital Economy conference that's been put on by CT and ANZ here at Docklands. And I'm with Sean White from XDC, one of the key partners of today's event. Sean, wonderful to speak to you.
Thanks, Lawrence. It's fantastic to be here today.
Now, let's talk about XDC before we kick into today's event.
Sure. Well, XDC is a layer one that is sort of tackling a lot of trade finance issues. And also we're a real-world asset tokenization platform. So we're also doing things like the paperless trade. We're pretty much on the forefront of real-world assets and also payments on blockchain.
Well, I think the value of having XDC in a discussion like today is to really sort of create the vision of the future and what's possible and how companies like yourself can help companies get there.
Well, we're not a company, Lawrence, but I'll definitely say
organisation.
Yeah, we're a decentralized, autonomous organisation as of now. But no, you're absolutely right. Given that we're sort of heavily engaged with trade and trade finance, being ITFA members, of course, and participating in the many working groups involved with trade finance and digital negotiable instruments, obviously, it is, I guess, quite fitting that we were invited and we were invited to sponsor as well and to be here. So if there was any chain that was going to be here, it's most likely going to be XDC Network, of course.
Yeah. And some of the questions that I had talking to people throughout the breaks was, how do we use your type of technologies and smart contracts, and really there's so many possibilities that companies and individuals are still trying to explore and understand.
Absolutely. Well, ever since we partnered up, or I guess collaborated with the IMDA, Singapore's government department, and really integrated the Trade Trust platform into our own dApps, we've noticed that there's been a strong push throughout the regions to export into MLETR regions. So we have onboarding agents in America that are working with us, in India, Singapore, Dubai. In actual fact, is now a good opportunity to say that we have a fantastic local onboarder that is integrated with Trade Trust and XDC Trade Network dApp, which is ready to bring in a new era of paperless trade and hopefully trade finance digitally as well, assuming the government gets on top of that, brings certainty to the regulatory environment. But we definitely have ways that Australia businesses can now integrate digitally and export paperless going forwards now to places like Singapore, UK, and the other MLETR regions.
That's a great segue, Sean, because I was going to ask you, Australia, we're sort of a bit behind the schedule. So many other markets are really taking this up. I think creating that awareness, but also trying to almost handhold some Australian businesses to show them how possible this is.
Yeah, well, we have a very strong team, Brisbane-based, that is doing a lot of the on-the-ground onboarding of these digitising of EBLs, bills of lading. But you're absolutely right. There has been such a strong push. France is now adopting MLETR. Japan has tabled it in government, and it's moving forward from next year over a 2-year window. So a lot of our trading partners are obviously getting involved in Southeast Asia and the APAC region in general. I'd like to think that the incremental push that we're doing as a network by bringing this digital blockchain facilitated exporting is really going to set up the local atmosphere to bring in imports. And as we become MLETR compliant ourselves as a country, this is sort of like the teething ring that's going to help break the teeth through when we start to actually have MLETR adopted in Australia. So it's not just this is great for exports, but we're actually also seasoning the turkey in the oven right now. Get all the partners involved. ANZ very active in this sector as well. So we're going to see more and more heroes evolve in this landscape. And this is just the beginning, but we're definitely sowing some seeds here.
And you're definitely at the forefront. I think that around the world, if I use an analogy, the train's left the station. It's happening anyway. Australia's got to get on board as quickly as possible.
in its own time, right? It's important to not rush this. If we had done this 5 years ago, where Australia was right on that cusp of technological and regulatory, on that precipice, I don't know if it would have actually worked so well for us, because there were third generation blockchains coming through. Now we are sort of having more of an evolved discussion about what role cloud has, what role does identification have, what role does government, border force, biosecurity, customs. We're a very complicated ecosystem when it comes to trade, so I think it's important to have taken our time, and I think in some ways it's better to go slow with a very complicated country like Australia. That way we get some feedback going, so we see, when we do take the next steps, that they're the steps that work for the best for everybody.
Yeah, great. Is there anything in today's presentations throughout the day that have surprised you, or some key takeaways that you've observed, Sean?
To be honest, when I looked at the schedule coming into today, I thought it was very well crafted and well curated, so I wasn't surprised coming in, because I kind of actually anticipated a lot of the conversations. So I wasn't surprised. However, I was surprised somewhat when I read the schedule at first, and I thought, I'm really stoked. Like I don't know what the word is, but knowing Brian and Prue of the Australian Centre of International Trade and Investment, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was just thankful and appreciative of the schedule that was put forward, and I guess I was a little bit surprised. So, but in that case, when I came here today, there wasn't a lot that was, thank you.
Yeah, great. Well, as you say, I think they've really put on a wonderful lineup of speakers, including yourself, and I think the dialogue's been great. It's created a continuing conversation that's still going on behind us, and that's the whole purpose, is to really stir the pot, create the ideas, and see what's possible for people to discuss.
Yeah, well, I must admit, these conversations go on. I was just even speaking to someone in a particular government department just before. We both realised that we are sort of all touching a different part of the elephant, or the rhinoceros, or whatever whatever the metaphor you want to say. And he actually asked me, let's continue this conversation, let's follow up, let's have a private conversation, because he was hoping that I could help inform him, and I have people that I could help inform him even better. So, it's going to take a village, and this openness, transparency, and willingness to reach out and kind of inform each other, that's what it's all about.
Well, congratulations on the work you continue to do, and really leading the charge here in trying to create the awareness and opportunities for Australian businesses to get on board. And thank you again from our perspective from Ethical Trade Alliance for giving us the opportunity to be here at the event and showing a little bit about what we do as well. So thank you, Sean, and congratulations again.
It's lovely to be here, Lawrence, and you're very welcome.
Take care. Cheers.